Hello guys, Nasty Cupid here with another video of World of Warships. What a surprise. So the GAEDE is now the ship which I will be playing. Of course the GAEDE is the tier 6 German destroyer, which comes after the T-22, which I did a video about not so long ago. And so I unlocked the GAEDE now. And the GAEDE, as you can see, his detection is pretty bad because my captain, or I don't actually have the concealment expert captain yet, or the skill on my captain. So that concealment will be a problem, but let's make the best of it in this game. Nonetheless, I also have this is, by the way, my first game in the GAEDE, and I upgraded my torps with free XP because the torps were very good and not too expensive to upgrade with some free XP, which I had plenty of, so I decided to upgrade the torpedo systems. And so now onto the game, of course. So this is a tier 8-7 match with a few tier 6s and me as a tier 6. So not the best matchmaking in my case, but you will most likely be tiered up against tier 8 and 7 with a tier 6. So it's a pretty common matchmaking in that case. So I am aggressively pushing B, as you can see, because I want to spot the enemy and want to push them out. There is no DD in B, they are at A and C. So that is very good. I also had a Chapayev which was pushing with me to B, which was very good of the Chapayev, because if there was a DD at B, he could just radar and we could both shoot that DD to pieces. But there was no DD, so it was a nice play by the Chapayev, but in the end it didn't really matter, and it actually turned out as a bad play because he got himself killed. So I smoke up to shoot the Kutuzov, of course, because who doesn't want to shoot the Kutuzov. I also shot torps. I intended those torps for the Kutuzov because I knew he was going to sail out of his smoke, and maybe he would sail a bit more to B and smoke up again. But my torps are only 8 kilometers, so they will probably run out before they hit anything. So my positioning here is not the best. I'm right in the middle of the enemy team, actually. And my team is sailing very much around A, which is very problematic, as you will see at the end of the game. Because at this point what my team is doing right now is sailing behind huge islands which block their vision, and we can't support each other. The enemy team is just picking off targets one by one, and we can't shoot back in force. And the Bismarck also pops up and he's rushing. So in this case my torps are the well, this is the best scenario for my torps, because these 8 kilometer torps, my detection is almost 8 kilometers, so using them in stealth is impossible pretty much. So you can only stealth torp people when they come toward you, which is the case with the Bismarck. So at this point I'm just waiting it out and trying to torp as many people as I can. I don't want to shoot. I was considering this game to use him as a gunboat like I did with the T-22, but with the GAEDE, and especially in this matchmaking, you just don't have the maneuverability, and the your opponents have too accurate and fast moving shells to effectively dodge and shoot at the same time. so I decided not to use it as a gunboat. But the Bismarck is coming pretty close, so he will probably spot me, but I'm turning away in time, of course. He is sailing pretty fast, but I'm at the same speed, so I managed to run away from my detection limit. And of course I shoot some torps. Also the Akizuki is spotted, and the Akizuki I didn't know at the time, but that's the Japanese gunboat. I always confuse the Akizuki with the Akatsuki, which is very similar, and that's why I mess those up. So that's pretty important, which ships you're up against. It's a pretty important thing to consider. That's the number one tip I can give you new guys to this game. Know what you're up against, and that's partly why I make these videos, also to help people know how certain ships should be played and how other people play ships, even if it's not the optimal thing to do. So the Akatsuki actually took 2 torpedoes and he survived. That's of course one of the downsides of the German torpedoes. They are very poor hitting torpedoes. I don't know the damage, but I think it's only about 10k damage. And the Akatsuki apparently has a amazing torpedo belt, which also negates all the damage of my torpedoes. So the Bismarck is coming pretty close, and I was scared of his hydro, so I ran away before he spotted me while sailing or just sitting still. I got very lucky here by dropping my speed in time, and he completely missed me. And by the time he could get another shot off, he is dead. And apparently I got very nice amount of flooding damage on the Bismarck, which got me liquidator by killing him. So the Kutuzov, of course, while I was spotted, punished me heavily with half of my health gone. The Akatsuki is now spotted, and now you will see the full wrath of the Japanese gunboats. So my guns, as you can see, they're not the best guns. They're not very accurate. I have trouble hitting him, and even if I do hit him, the damage is pretty poor. So that's not ideal. So as you can see, he's hitting me pretty hard. He's also shooting AP, which is actually very smart, because the Akatsuki has very strong AP, as you can see. He was melting me, but of course he didn't have enough health left to actually deal with me effectively. So overall in this game, my team is far too passive, and actually I'm just sitting here all alone, which is not very good at all. But I have premium smoke, which means my smoke is up pretty quickly. By the way, premium smoke is very strong in my opinion, so if you ever have the chance of putting premium smoke on your ships, you should definitely do it, because it reduces your smoke reload time by a huge amount. And New Mexico got very lucky, because all my torpedoes just ran out before hitting him. I knew it at the time that I shot torpedoes too far, or that the target was too far away, but I hoped he would be turning into B and cap B, which a normal person would try to do, but he took a wide turn, which meant my torps missed him. So at this point, of course, I'm smoking up, because I don't want to be spotted with my health and a battleship not very far away from me. So as you can see here, 4,000 damage. The AP of the German destroyers is very, very strong. So if you normally, most people will shoot HE with destroyers, but with the German D-Days you really have to shoot AP at broadside targets and only use HE with targets that are angling, because the HE on this ship, as you saw with the Akitsuki, is very, very poor hitting. I came out of smoke here because I knew he was dead, the New Mexico, so I was pretty confident of getting out of the smoke. So the Charles Martel gets me by surprise because I didn't know he was just around the corner, and my detection handicap here is pretty noticeable, so I just get annihilated, of course, by the Charles Martel. So yeah, this game is looking pretty bad, and as you will guess, we will lose this game. I did my best though, so let's look at my individual score at the scoreboard. So here we are at the scoreboard. As you can see here, the amazing thing about this game was the 11 torpedo hits. It doesn't happen that often that you get so many torpedo hits, but as I already stated, the torpedoes do very poor damage, which makes 11 torpedo hits not so effective. The other impressive achievement of this game was the 18 fended ribbons, which doesn't happen very often. So it was pretty much, as I said, me defending B for the team, which didn't make much of a difference in the end, which was too bad. But I still got very nice points of those 18 ribbons, because I think defended ribbons give you lots of points. The same goes for the captured ribbons of flags, so always go for that if you have the chance. And I did 150,000 damage, which is also very nice, especially for a tier 6 against tier 8 and 7 matchmaking. So the team score board. So yeah, of course, top of my team, because I seemed the only one that was actually doing useful things and trying to let the team win or get the team to a victory. But of course, one GAEDE isn't enough against a Kutuzov York Tirpitz and a Charles Martel. Actually, the Charles Martel has a pretty nice score, so he played very well. So let's just take a quick look at the detailed report. So as we can see, for 11 torpedoes we got 77,000 damage, which is not too bad, but it certainly shows that my torpedo hits were not... Normally torpedo hits would be around 10,000 damage, but of course in this case I would have had 110,000 damage in a normal destroyer, but since this is a German destroyer with German torpedoes, I only did 77,000 damage. Also, I got a nice amount of damage done with my flooding of the Bismarck, which is very nice. And my main battery, especially my AP, as you can see, 27,000 damage, which is very nice amount of damage for AP shells of a destroyer. I hope you guys liked the gameplay and the video. If you want to see more videos, be sure to leave a like, and that will compel me to upload more videos more frequently. Cheers!